Get ready for some serious heat because Austin Rivers is firing back at Draymond Green after the Warriors star made some brutal comments. Rivers unleashed a lengthy response on Instagram, calling out Green for being disrespectful and questioning his judgment. We dive into the explosive details of this back and forth that is shaking up the NBA conversation.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the legendary Golden State Warriors and Draymond Green's Mount Rushmore. Draymond Green has laid out exactly who he believes deserves a spot among the franchise's greats, naming Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson, and himself. Find out why Green feels this specific quartet defines the dynasty. Switching gears to the Met Gala, we have a look at the undeniable style of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler III. These two NBA greats showed up looking incredibly similar, rocking hooded coats and sleek suits. Plus, we get an update on Jimmy Butler's recovery from his ACL tear while he was out there. And finally, the beef between Austin Rivers and Draymond Green is reaching a boiling point. We break down the entire exchange where Rivers called Green emotionally immature and defended Kerr, leading to a massive confrontation about careers and contracts. Don't miss this intense showdown, and stick around for more breaking sports news. Austin Rivers has responded sharply to Draymond Green following a heated exchange regarding Rivers' opinion on coach Steve Kerr. In an Instagram post on Tuesday, Rivers addressed Green's comments, labeling them as disrespectful and suggesting Green's reactions stem from immaturity and irrationality. The confrontation arose after Green called out Rivers for revealing his bewilderment regarding comments Rivers made about Kerr potentially hindering his career. Green had previously questioned Rivers' perspective, stating, "I just find it interesting that a guy who was the 10th pick in my draft, I was 35, who's on his second act, I'm still on act 1, would say such things." Rivers countered Green's remarks by drawing a comparison to their high school basketball careers, asserting, "He goes, Draymond's never been a scorer." Well, Austin, you and I averaged the same amount of points in high school when you were a scorer. And I say high school because that's when you were at your best. Green also shifted the focus, suggesting Rivers benefited from favorable contract situations, highlighting Rivers' significant contract deals with the Los Angeles Clippers, which was coached by Green's father, Doc Rivers, and pointing to a substantial financial bailout Rivers received from his father. In his reply, Rivers responded by listing prominent figures in the NBA Hall of Fame who have influenced Green's career, including Kerr, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. Rivers concluded by reframing the narrative, stating, "The irony of you saying I'm part of the biggest bailout in NBA history," he commented. "Draymond, you are the luckiest basketball player I think I've ever seen, especially in modern-day history. You're talking about Steve Kerr hindering your career." Bro, Steve Kerr made your career. The intense verbal exchange between the two figures has escalated, leaving the future trajectory of their conflict uncertain. Draymond Green has publicly named the Mount Rushmore of the Golden State Warriors, a quartet that includes Stephen Curry, Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson, and himself. Speaking on the post-moves show, Green stated, "That's 4 people. That's Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. I don't think there's any other way to slice that." This declaration solidifies the players and coaches who have defined the franchise's dynasty in the mid-2010s. Green's selection is widely seen as justified, as the 4 individuals represent the core of the team's recent success. Klay Thompson, though no longer with the Warriors after a 2024 trade to the Dallas Mavericks, was a crucial component of the iconic Splash Brothers duo with Curry, averaging 19.6 points per game during his tenure with the team and earning numerous accolades. Stephen Curry remains central to the discussion, recognized as one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. His statistical dominance, including career averages of 24.8 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 6.3 assists per game, coupled with multiple MVP awards and championships, cements his status as a franchise cornerstone. However, Green emphasizes his own indispensable role, highlighting his function as the team's culture setter and high-impact leader. Over a 14-year NBA career, Green has averaged 8.7 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game. Beyond his statistical contributions, Green's defensive prowess is significant, evidenced by 9 all-defensive selections and a DPOY award in the 2016-17 season. Completing the quartet is head coach Steve Kerr. Kerr is credited with transforming the team after taking over from Mark Jackson in 2014, leading the Warriors to 4 championships in 8 years. Green's inclusion of Kerr is particularly fitting, especially as his tenure as head coach approaches its conclusion, acknowledging Kerr's transformative impact on the franchise. Golden State Warriors stars Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler III made a notable appearance at the Met Gala earlier this week, drawing attention for their strikingly similar fashion choices. Curry was seen alongside his wife, Aisha, sporting a hooded coat layered over a sharp black suit. Jimmy Butler III mirrored this aesthetic, wearing a black cropped suit jacket with a hood underneath. Beyond the fashion statements, the appearance also offered positive news for Warriors fans. Butler was seen walking independently, indicating continued progress in his recovery from an ACL tear. The event also featured attendance from other NBA legends, including Russell Westbrook and Butler's former teammate, Dwayne Wade. The simmering tension between Austin Rivers and Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green has escalated following a recent public exchange, where Rivers sharply criticized Green for comments made about his professional career. The dispute ignited after Rivers responded to Green's podcast, remarks concerning Warriors coach Steve Kerr allegedly hindering his growth. Green countered by asserting that Rivers secured a significant contract, labeling it the biggest bailout in U.S. history, when his father, Doc Rivers, was with the Los Angeles Clippers. In his response, Rivers accused Green of acting irrationally and emotionally immature, stating, "The fact that you don't have the wherewithal to do your due diligence and actually understand I was being highly complimentary of you on the Dan Patrick Show. But it's you, and I shouldn't be surprised. You always act irrationally, emotionally immature, and your anger always puts you in hot water." Rivers further asserted his belief that Steve Kerr was instrumental to Green's success, adding, "Draymond, you are the luckiest basketball player I think I've ever seen, especially in modern-day history. You're talking about Steve Kerr hindering your career. Bro, Steve Kerr made your career." The conversation touched on Green's career trajectory, with Green defending his path under Kerr. He questioned Kerr's decision not to incorporate more offensive plays for him, particularly after Kevin Durant joined the team in the 2016 offseason. Green explained, "You know, when Kevin Durant came from 2016 on, I have not had a play in our playbook. Not a single play that we run for me in our playbook since 2016. You think that would hinder someone as an offensive player? Of course." Green concluded by reflecting on his career path, noting, "So at times I go home and I think about my career and I'm happy as hell with what I've been able to build. But at times, sometimes I sit there and think, what could I really have been if I stayed true to my game and what I really was?" Despite a reduced offensive role under Kerr, Green anchored the Golden State defense, earning accolades including Defensive Player of the Year and being a 9-time member of the All-NBA defensive team.